everybody. Today I'm going to be looking at what is a ratio. Okay, so we're going to just talk about basics, what a ratio is, what it looks like. So what is a ratio? So a ratio compares two quantities, two or more actually, two or more quantities. Okay, and this could be written in three ways. So for example, I can write A to B, A colon B, or A over B. The most useful way that we see ratios is usually in the fraction form, but you may see it in a colon form a lot in word problems. Okay, so let's take a look. This means, so for example, let's say that I have a red rod and a blue rod. So I have a red rod to blue rod. Okay, and let's say the ratio was 5 to 9. Okay, again I could write that 5 to 9, 5 colon 9, or 5 over 9. Okay, and what this means is for every 5 red rods, there are 9 blue rods. So, for example, if I had a bag of blue rods and red rods, if I were to pull out 5, by the time I would pull out 5, I should have pulled out 9 blue rods, okay? So, total I have 14 rods, okay? So, this is pretty much what a ratio is, okay? And a tape diagram can be drawn for this ratio. So, if I have 5 blue rods, let's say 5 red and 9 blue, I can write 5 boxes, and I'm going to write 9 blue boxes. It should be the same size, relatively the same size as your original 5 blue boxes. Okay, so all the boxes should be the same because each part is worth the same. So I can write this red to blue, which is 5 to 9, blue to red, which is 9 to 5, blue to total, which is 9 to 14, red to total, which is 5 to 14. I could also write ones like the difference of blue and red to total. So that would be blue minus red over total. So to substitute, it'd be 9 minus 5 over 14, which is 4 over 14. So that would be that ratio. I can also do the sum or and. Okay, so I can make all different kind of comparisons between blue and red rods using the numbers 5 and 9. So let's go over one example that you had to do in your classwork just to reinforce this idea. So for example, it says there are 123 students in the drama club. 123 students in the drama club. 65 of them are girls. So 65 are girls. What's the ratio of boys to the girls? So if we know that we have 123 total, I'm going to subtract the girls to get the boys. So I'm going to put total minus girls, and this is going to be boys. So just to double check our math, we do 123 minus 65, and this would mean there's 58 boys. So it asks for the ratio of boys to girls. So this would be 58 over 65. What's the ratio of the number of boys to the total number of students? So since again we know we have 58 boys, our total students is 123. Let's do another problem. Say for example, it says I have 37 clarinet players and I have 150 trumpet players who would try it out for the music competition. Find the ratio of the number of clarinet players to the trumpet players. So that one's pretty self-explanatory. Clarinet to trumpet. Okay, the next one says find the ratio of the number of trumpet players to the total. So trumpet to total. So this is going to be 150 over the total amount, which is 187. Let's keep going. Carl had $43 when he entered the museum gift shop. After spending money, he had $18 left. So we know that he had $43, he spent some money, and now he has $18 left. Okay, so we know 43 minus 18 is going to give us our other add-in. So 13, this is a 5, 25. So we know that he spent $25. So it says find the ratio of the amount of money Carl spent to the amount of money he had when he entered. So he spent 25. When he entered, he had 43. Calvin's monthly allowance is $42 and Mike's is 63. So Calvin is 42, Mike is 63. How many times Mike's monthly allowance is Kevin's monthly allowance? So we want to know how many times can Mike's monthly allowance fit into Calvin's monthly allowance. So we take Mike's monthly allowance and we divide it by Calvin's monthly allowance. Now we know that 21 is a factor of both 63 and 42. So I'm going to divide this by 21. I'm going to divide this by 21, and I get 3 over 2, which means that I can fit 1.5 of Calvin's inside of Mike's. I can fit 1.5, which makes sense because if I were to draw my reduced version of Calvin, it'd be 2, and Mike would be 3, which shows that I can fit 1 whole piece and a half of this whole inside Mike's. Okay, and let's go on to one of the last ones. The ratio of the weight of vegetables sold to fruit sold is 45 to 144. So veggies to fruit is 45 to 144. It asks how many times the weight of vegetables sold is the weight of fruit sold. So we want to know how many times the weight of vegetables sold is the fruit sold. So we take the vegetables over the fruit, because that's going to tell us how many times we can fit the fruit into the vegetables. And then this is going to be reduced by 9, and it's going to be 5 over 9 goes into 14 one time with 54. 9 goes into 54 6 times. 5 over 16. Okay, so this says how many times 5/16 of the vegetables can fit inside the fruit. And what's the fraction of the total weight of vegetables and fruit? So veggies plus fruit over vegetables. So we're going to take 45 plus 144, and we're going to get 189 over my original vegetables. Okay? And the last one says the ratio of the length to the width of a rectangle is 5 to 2. So the length to the width is 5 to 2. That means if I had a rectangle, the length would be 5x and the width would be 2x. The reason I have an x is because I can multiply both 5 and 2 by any number as long as it's the same, and this will be the same ratio. Okay? We'll talk about that in the next lesson. Express the difference between the length and the width of the rectangle as a fraction of the length. So it wants to take length minus width, because it says difference, over the length. This is going to be 5 minus 2 over 5, which is 3 over 5. And the very last part says express the width of the rectangle as a fraction of the perimeter. So it wants the width to the perimeter. We know the width is 2, and we know the perimeter is 2L plus 2W, 2 times 5 plus 2 times 2. is going to be 10 plus 4. It's going to be 14. So this is the ratio of the width to the perimeter. So I just went through what is a ratio. I went through the whole lesson. I showed you how to make a tape diagram for a ratio. I showed you how to compare two quantities using the 3 different forms of a ratio. Hopefully this helps you understand this lesson and understand everything there is to know about how to set up a ratio. Have a great night.